I guarantee next year, you're going to see use case after use case where we're seeing deployment of agentic AI. That's going to be exciting. So I love seeing it the first time, and then we'll see it again. So we're going to now combine several different technologies. We're bringing up good friend of our event, Nathan Pettyjohn, who's going to be coming up and talking about XR, drones, AI, and we're going to have that unpacked for us. And when he wraps up, we're going to go upstairs for nice refreshments and break to check out the tech, see the demos, before we come back down here at 11:30. So I am going to turn it over to Nathan Pettyjohn, and he can take us through XR, AI, and drones, the impact on optimizing energy sector operations, training compliance. Nathan, take it away.
All right, thank you, Sean. Good morning, everybody. Great to be here in Houston, this beautiful day we have. I would like to ask you to imagine for just a moment, there's a refinery worker who's on the job 3 weeks. He's asked to perform a critical task to go in and inspect some valves. And he's gone through training, he's studied manuals, he's watched videos, he's even shadowed one of the senior workforce team members. But when the time comes, the critical moment for him to perform that task, he makes the wrong move and adjusts the wrong valve. And it leads to a gas leak that's very critical. So in the energy sector, these types of mistakes are extremely high risk, and they can lead to death, and they can lead to the loss of millions of dollars. And so in the energy sector, I think it's really important for us to all focus on these technologies of XR, of AI, and drones, and I think they have a profound opportunity to be impactful on the industry. If you look at the energy sector and power outages just in America alone, it costs on average over $50 billion with power outages. So the dollar figures are very high stakes here, and these are the very important areas to look at beyond most industries. So I'm going to give you about 15 minutes of a very high-level overview of some XR training case studies, AI and XR drones, and AI plus digital twins. And then finally, I'll wrap up with some of the ecosystem considerations to look at. And so whether you're a solution provider offering applications or software, I think you'll find some of this interesting, or if you're an end user looking to deploy some of it, hopefully you'll just get a little bit of taste here, because I can't go too deep in the time that I have, but hopefully this will be inspiring for some of you. So if we look at ExxonMobil, somebody who's been at the forefront of doing training, years ago they had a situation where almost 25% of their newly trained employees were leaving within 1 year. And the training was really expensive, it was time consuming and often ineffective. So it's very critical for them to find a solution. They worked with HTC Vive on a program that resulted in 40% reduction in training time, a 50% decrease in on-site accidents, and their workers felt a lot more confident and prepared by using this. And they continue to innovate today. Another great example that really captures the monetary impact here is Chevron using Motive.io. So they were using virtual reality training for a while, but they needed a way to scale it. And after evaluating several companies, this is a great case study where Motive was able to come in, allow their internal teams to do self-authoring and scale to tens of thousands of their workforce. That resulted in roughly 18 million in savings, which is a very large number. And their ability to scale allowed them to save about 66% time. Normally, they were taking about 6 months to develop a new training module, and that went down to weeks, 6 to 9 weeks. So I'm going to give, there's a short video here that is going to play. This is a company called Facilitate. It's a really simple video, but it's a good example of how VR training can be used with 360 video. And some of you in the industry, we've had 360 video around for many, many years, but it's actually highly effective. And there's a lot of tools out there that allow you to go in and self-author You can also then create 3D micro simulations. And these authoring tools, I think, are critical for some of the scalability out there. So let's take just a minute and a half to watch this video.
Creating immersive learning experiences is easy with Facilitate. Turn plain 360 content into powerful learning experiences using the interactive 360 editor. The editor runs from your web browser and uses a simple drag and drop interface, meaning everyone can create experiences easily and quickly. Add interactive elements such as information overlays, 2D videos, audio, questions, as well as waypoints to connect images and videos. Facilitate experiences can be accessed via a compatible VR headset or a desktop computer. Harness the power of collaborative learning or allow learners to explore in their own time. Test knowledge and make content more engaging with question hotspots. And use waypoints to create virtual tours of a workplace. Add narration to guide learners or allow them to explore on their own with minimal guidance. Facilitate's interactive 360 editor is powerful, but it's only one part of the Facilitate Creator Suite. You can combine 360 experiences with traditional content types such as slides and 2D videos, as well as Facilitate's micro simulations. Whatever your use case is, Facilitate gives you the flexibility to create immersive experiences easily and affordably. Contact us to organize a free trial.
Okay, that was just a good simple video to explain those concepts. Let's move on to some of the AI-powered drones. If you look at the infrastructure inspection market alone, it's estimated to be a $3.7 billion market by 2029. And a lot of these inspections are taking place with people actually going into very hazardous conditions, climbing hundreds of feet, or even going into very, very high risk situations. If we look at some of the companies that are putting out information on the results of these AI-powered drones, we're seeing 75% faster inspections. The safety incidents are being reduced to nearly zero, and they're detecting pipeline defects with 95% accuracy using some of the AI technology. And so I've listed just a few of the companies out there. There's many that are doing this, but a few of these drone companies. Plus, I wanted to call out T-Mobile, who's actually working with this company called Skydio, where they've got dedicated bandwidth on 5G for these drones in critical situations. So there's a lot to consider in this whole ecosystem of the AI drone industry. And then I'm going to play a short video here from Skydio that kind of encapsulates some of the solutions that are out there. And so while you're watching this, you'll see little bits of where they're doing computer vision based scanning as they're flying through certain situations, and even using AR or augmented reality overlays. So a lot of times augmented reality we talk about with glasses and being able to see content overlaid on the real world, but this is a unique way where they're using AR in a different situation for drones.
For the people with the toughest jobs in the world, having the right information at the right time is the difference between success and failure, between life and death. And every second counts. Skydio dock for X10. Station docked X10s where critical work happens. Get airborne in 20 seconds. Operate remotely from anywhere in the world and get the data you need to act. X10 features category-leading visual and thermal sensors to capture the details you need, with the modularity and versatility for any mission.
You are trespassing on private property.
Dock keeps your drones ready to fly, even in the toughest conditions. Scorching heat, freezing cold, day or night. Go beyond visual line of sight. With built-in weather sensors and airspace awareness, plus world-leading autonomy with Skydio Pathfinder to confidently get X10 sensors wherever you need them. And get limitless range with Connect Fusion. Seamless switching between point-to-point and 5G connections. Operate fleets of drones everywhere, all at once, with Skydio Remote Ops. From multi-drone operations to planning and scheduling missions for continuous data collection. For public safety agencies, Skydio DFR Command is the ultimate software suite for drone operations. Respond to incidents with a single click. Share live.
All right, I think that video didn't stop where it was supposed to, so I'll go ahead and do that for us. But as you can see there, there's some really interesting things that are being done in that ecosystem. And then especially when you're able to go out and do scans of environments and then pull back digital twins that maybe a drone has gone out and scanned, and then utilize that for training purposes or for compliance and monitoring. Wanted to throw out this use case where these AI-powered digital twins are being used to monitor pipelines and refineries. And so Chevron's been working with the Omniverse team at NVIDIA, and their predictive analytics are reducing failures by 25%. Also, the compliance tracking is being automated in many cases by AI, and you're seeing downtime reduction by 20%. So this next, there's one more video here that I've got to show you, and it's a really good example of how these digital twins are being used with AI for simulations. This one happens to be in a warehouse ecosystem, not necessarily in an energy sector, but these same types of solution offerings are being used in energies.
The future of heavy industries starts as a digital twin. The AI agents helping robots, workers, and infrastructure navigate unpredictable events in complex industrial spaces will be built and evaluated first in sophisticated digital twins. This Omniverse digital twin of a 100,000 square foot warehouse is operating as a simulation environment that integrates digital workers, AMRs running the NVIDIA Isaac Perceptor stack, centralized activity maps of the entire warehouse from 100 simulated ceiling mount cameras using NVIDIA Metropolis, and AMR route planning with NVIDIA Cuopt. Software in loop testing of AI agents in this physically accurate simulated environment enables us to evaluate and refine how the system adapts to real-world unpredictability. Here, an incident occurs along this AMR's planned route, blocking its path as it moves to pick up a pallet. NVIDIA Metropolis updates and sends a real-time occupancy map to Cuopt, where a new optimal route is calculated. The AMR is enabled to see around corners and improve its mission efficiency. With generative AI-powered Metropolis vision foundation models, operators can even ask questions using natural language. The visual model understands nuanced activity and can offer immediate insights to improve operations. All of the sensor data is created in simulation and passed to the real-time AI, running as NVIDIA Inference Microservices, or NIMs. And when the AI is ready to be deployed in the physical twin, the real warehouse, we connect Metropolis and Isaac NIMs to real sensors with the ability for continuous improvement of both the digital twin and the AI models.
Pretty amazing that that's being used now. So I thought that was a great example to showcase. As we kind of look full circle at the ecosystem, this slide is like heavy with content, but it's done that way on purpose because there's a lot to consider, and this is just touching the tip of the iceberg here. So in this ecosystem, I think it's important to consider, the XR category. You've got hardware devices, which can include not only virtual reality, which we've talked about, but of course augmented reality devices. And then considerations of how that's going to interact with tablets and PCs as well. You've got the XR software, which includes the applications, but also the digital twin creation tool sets. And then one that people run into with not always considering it properly is the 3D asset management. So once you've gone out there and created, let's say, digital twins and 3D models of all your assets, how do you manage those across your entire value chain? There's a company that I've worked with in the past called Ventana, who does a phenomenal job with this, being able to take a digital asset, for example, and then push it out into over 100 different file formats so that it can be used across your entire value chain as you're reviewing for any kind of use case. There's collaboration tools that are out there. So when you're collaborating on training, you've got to be able to work with people in real time. And in some of these different softwares, even CAD modeling, don't have that baked in as a native option. So there's tools with companies like one called Cavernous that I've also worked with that does a really good job being able to inject code into any kind of software that you're using to design or evaluate some of these digital twins, and you can collaborate with your designs without having to use just like a Teams sharing mode. So those are a few examples. If you look into the AI and training and compliance, there's obviously a whole nother slew of considerations. When you look at software, looking at different MDMs, I think we've got a couple of great MDM companies that are here today. But being able to manage all of those devices at scale is really critical. And then of course the security and compliance, you've got connectivity and infrastructure. As I mentioned, T-Mobile and some of the other cellular networks are really diving in with private 5G networks and even designating bandwidth to be used specifically for these high-risk situations with drones. And then of course with drones and robotics, I only touched on one category of that, and many of you may be aware, but we're getting into seeing things like humanoid robots, robot dogs that are actually going out and being used for inspection. So I think that's a huge wave that we're going to see over the next decade. So these are all the different things to consider in the ecosystem. It's very complex, and as you look to kind of like deploy those solutions, here's just a really high-level framework of how to consider looking at what you do next, looking at like the financial elements and doing an analysis of where you stand today, what are the KPIs you're trying to get to, and then do full solution review and strategic ROI planning. So these are all different elements that my company, the Immerse Group, can help with, and we've helped companies deploy it in the past, and we also work with some of the solution providers as well. So if you're thinking, what do I do next? There's obviously a lot of ways you could go. I wanted to give you a few examples of things that I'm involved with that you could take a look at. The Immerse Group, which is a consulting agency that I founded about 2.5 years ago. We help solution providers with some fractional business development. We also help with implementation of the technologies. So let me know if you're interested in talking about that. And then also I would encourage you to get involved in the VRARA Association and the Applied AI Association. So we're really committed and happy to be a partner actually here at Industrial Immersive Week. But our focus is on creating opportunities for you to come together, grow, learn, and connect. And we do that through chapters around the world, industry committees, industry reports, and we even have summits that you can come and attend. So these are just a few ways that I know how I could help get you involved in taking the next steps. So with that, we'll wrap it up, and if we have any time to take any questions, I can try to answer them, and if I don't have the answers, then I'll get back to you afterwards.
Thank you very much, Nathan. We appreciate it. Wow, that's convergence right there, huh, folks?
Yeah. We need those AI agents.
Really, that is convergence right there. That's some great stuff.